I really don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Jack can swing a sledgehammer or the fact his sledgehammer did 0 damage to the car. Also, what the hell is that rap supposed to be? A weather forecast? Just looks like actual dragon vomit. Seems to me that's all you're smashing though, because those 2 girls in the background just couldn't give one clit of a shit about you. Have a $300,000 car parked in front of Tony Stark's mansion and they both still on their phones. You almost have to try to be that boring. All the haters in the comments about to write something in the comments to cope with the fact that it'll never be like me. Then we have Jack posing in a nice family reunion with his sisters and cousins. You are right about one thing though, the last thing I would ever want to be like is somebody that's built like a malnourished bleach Mr. Meekseeks that has to go pay his girlfriend 6 figures in order to get some cheeks. Alright, welcome back ladies and ladies with dicks. It's been quite some time since we checked in on the human equivalent of morning breath known as Jack Doherty. We showed what a gentle guru he was, never laying a hand on anybody he started fights with. Instead he sends his bipolar glue-eating goons to go throw hands for him, some of the time completely unprovoked. I'm sure you remember the one instance of Jack's guard having some Winter Soldier episode where he propelled his fist into a gentleman's face, almost like I was watching some Tekken 7 finisher, for practically no good reason at all, which led to Jack's very first lawsuit, all because of him trash-talking an OnlyFans girl for rejecting him, despite telling all his middle school fan base to go see his limp 1-inch shrimp on his own OnlyFans account on a daily basis, making sure to drop the link in every pinned comment across all of his videos, even reaching to the point of desperation that he promoted a sex tape between him along with his girlfriend. Thankfully, I haven't seen a second of that pisser mashing marathon, mainly because Jack still looked like he's fucking 12, so watching that would almost feel illegal, like I'm watching that scene out of mid-90s where Stevie lost his V-card. The brave souls or deranged yeasty beasts that did see it, however, described it as looking like 2 lesbians playing bumper cars with each other's clits. No passion whatsoever. It's rumored Jack was almost falling asleep while he was balls deep, and Michaela was radio silent, not moaning at all, not even letting out a scoff. It goes to show the lengths Jack will go to gain any attention since he's lacking length anywhere else.
It's all mentality. And if you just have a positive mentality, everything is easy in life to do. So if you just have a positive mindset towards absolutely everything you do in life, everything is so much easier. Because if you have a negative mindset on something, it's just gonna make you not want to do it. It's just gonna make you hate it.
You heard it here first. There ain't no pandering without positivity. It's not about how he takes 90% of the income from the girls that work for him. It's the fact that he does it with a smile. I ended my last video showing this I have a dream speech he decided to do in the backyard of his mansion, going over how hard his life was and telling his audience they're the only real ones he feels like he has left because of the horrible treatment life has gave to him, and really thinks they're the last people he can truly talk to, which I find almost adorable because majority of his audience can't even fucking talk yet. They're all wearing pacifiers and Pampers. So he's basically saying the only people he can relate to are toddlers. Quite sad, really, especially when you try to get that same audience to look at your dick flicks. The last thing I announced in my previous vid was foreshadowing Jack only getting worse and more degenerate by the day. I turned out to be absolutely right. Starting more fights he scurries away from, creating god-awful skits for more publicity, and lastly facing entirely new allegations of him hosting parties with underage girls the day before they turn 18, getting them shithouse drunk, then making them sign a contract to work for his pimp ring. Now I think it is important to take this with not only a grain of salt, I would grab a couple fucking pounds of it, because the one breaking these allegations is the kick streamer Neon. Somebody that has a pretty colorful reputation of his own. The most notable trait about him would be lying. The first thing he blew up from was lying about his own death, which he's done twice now, so I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of this brittle Indian chicken little's mouth because it's never going to be believable. However, with Neon being somebody that has worked with Jack in person in the past, seeing his operation inside and out, a part of me really wants to side with him here and give him the slight benefit of the doubt.
Hey Jack, you bro, I was actually speaking highly of you for the first time. You want to come here and talk? It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. I just don't give a anymore, man. I just don't care, bro. You get 17-year-old girls the night before their birthday. You buy a $10,000 yacht every time. You get them drunk and they sign a contract. 50% of their life every single time.
Listen, ladies, if Jack asked you to party, you gotta tell him no. Now, this is some Diddy shit if this turns out to be the truth, and I really do have some reason to believe it because we've seen with our own eyes how Jack interacts with drunk girls already on camera, foaming out the mouth and going feral over hammered women asking him to stop filming them.
Excuse me, are you gonna feed her some water? Because why are you taking contact with my friend? Stop.
Look, hey yo, watch, this is what they're saying about you.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Stop. Stop.
Look, watch.
I don't care what they're saying. Why are you live streaming this? You're an asshole. Go away.
Am I?
Yes, you're
Hey, you want water?
How are you? Are you 19? Go away.
I'm 20.
You're so far.
I'm giving her my water.
Why are you taking videos? Why are you taking
You're right,
videos?
I'm only doing it for the
drunk?
video.
You asshole, go away.
I just want to look good now after that. No, I'm kidding. Fuck you, fucking hell. Fucking first thing she said to me was, I'm 12, you're a I don't give a Oh no, no.
Yeah, really don't know what that ending moan was there. Maybe his defense mechanism is just to orgasm, because that sounded like he shot a couple ropes into his trousers. Really creepy encounter from start to finish though. I mean, the one girl looked like she was going through a demonic possession, swaying around like the inflatable friends you see outside of a Kia dealership. For that not to be an instant indicator to walk in the opposite direction, especially when your response to them telling you to go away was you just taking another step closer. I mean, if he's going to harass vulnerable women on camera, then what Neon said would be pretty believable to what sort of sick things he does off it. The accusations ended up getting so bad that Jack would take himself to Twitter to put out his own response, trying to debunk everything that's been said about him.
All right, so this is the last thing I want to address because I think it's the last thing I have to address, but basically there's this rumor saying that I sign minor fans, get them drunk on yachts, make them sign contracts, whatever. That is the most untrue, false allegation I've ever heard, and I've never felt like I had to respond to it because it's just so dumb. But one person came up with that rumor, and the whole internet ran with it.
Your hair looks like you told your barber to do a dollop with Daisy. I don't know where you got your inspiration from, because to me it looks like a pube bush you would find in a 70s X film. Anyways, the person that rumored this out to the public is this girl that goes by the name of Natalie Reynolds, who used to be one of the hoes on Jack's roster. I want to freshly remind you guys there are no heroes in this story, because shortly after she tried painting herself as a victim for being exploited, she would jumpstart her solo career by exploiting herself, covering her naked body in paint, then showing up to a gym to interact with men and equipment there, giving them the option of either catching a case or chlamydia. I'll give you time to turn and talk to your partner. I mean, she was dragging her beef blankets across the seats, leaving a sweaty snail trail for whoever wants to use the equipment next. Really unhinged turn to take after trying to become a sole survivor of the sex industry just to launch your career off by being fully nude in public. Just more proof out there for my brothers watching. If you teach that hoe mentality, then these hoes will see it as reality. Oh, and if that wasn't weird enough, her next step towards stardom would be conducting a social experiment where she pretends to kidnap children, which went as well as you would expect to, because not even 30 minutes into starting it, she was damn near being dragged out of the car by police. So figuring out who is worse in all this is like looking at that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. Jack would be quick to say all this was a honky hunk of bullshit, labeling Natalie as a hungry clout chaser, trying to bring down his reputation for her own benefit. You know, the same shit he says basically every single time.
I'm younger than basically every girl I have signed except for like one. And that girl signed 4 months after her 18th birthday. So I have proof to back everything up if I need to, but it's just so dumb that people really like believe that type of shit, and they want to believe it because they hate me and they just can't accept the fact that I'm doing well in life.
You harass and try to get attention from strangers to fill some void within you from the lack of attention your parents gave you. Have zero friends that actually care about you rather than your pockets, and a bunch of women that are only around you so they can take Instagram pictures on your yacht. If that's what I consider to be doing well in life, where everything, even love and friends, comes with a price tag, I would make sure to go out like Harry Morgan. So enough with the yap session. Jack is calling all of this a hoof full of boof, claiming all of these allegations to be a slander to his name, and the only goal Natalie has in all this is to destroy his reputation. A former employee of Jack would come out to support Natalie's story and try to expose other nasty things he's seen Jack done for the time that he was with him. Jack would make another response towards him, calling him some evil mastermind that's been planning on taking down his career now for well over a year, labeling him as a snake that's been hungry for clout, which is same shit again. But there was one thing he said that sure striked my eye and made me do a double take, which was him admitting his employee kissed his own girlfriend while he watched.
He worked for me for 5 months, and within that 5 months, you don't even want to know all the girls that have like came forward about what he's done to them, which I'll get into that in a second. So there's this video that he keeps posting of him kissing my girlfriend in the back of an Uber, and here's the context to it.
I don't really think context is needed, you crimson chin cuck. I mean, aren't you supposed to be against this guy? Why do you bring up him kissing your bitch like it was helping your case out at all? I mean, he said it so nonchalantly, it's almost like he wants to watch it again. Here's the clip that Jack is reminiscing on.
What? Shut the f*** up.
But there's the kiss, if you even want to call it that. It more looked like some foreign etiquette, like two Serbians greeting each other. You can really see the sparks start to fly, and I don't mean that in a loving way. It's just their dry-ass lips rubbing together almost started a fire. So that's what his employee was flexing this entire time. One little-ass pity peck she decided to give him. God, all of these guys are literally just losers. Jack is claiming that the clip I just showed happened on the first day they ever met each other, constantly making it known that he already had another girl with him, saying it about 5 fucking times, almost going into an episode of Psychosis about it.
I flew her down here the day we all met her, and I literally had another girl in my bed when she flew down to my house that day. And then right after we went to a club, and she got all drunk, it was just all over McKinley, nonstop touching her, trying to kiss her nonstop, and she was super uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. To do that with every girl and think they all want him, but they don't. So then this is what happened. We were on the Uber on the way home. I was in the second row with another girl. She was like on top of me, I was lying down, we were all drunk.
Congrats on paying one of your employees overtime so they can hang out with you. I'm sure that took her a lot of convincing. But I mean, you heard what he said. The employee was a creep, slobbering on every girl he came across like it was Gollum the cave troll, just being a really weird guy. Pretty ironic, but he wouldn't exactly be lying either, as you'll see shortly. Jack would continue to say he was holding McKinley's hand while his employee was kissing her like it was another got you moment from him, except it just makes him look even more like a whimpering simp.
And I had my arm up like that, and McKinley was holding my hand in the video of him kissing her.
Nah, man.
And you can see
Sneako moment.
she's like, please help me. He won't stop like touching me and trying to kiss me. I'm very uncomfortable. Like, please just help me. But just don't tell him I said this to you, blah, blah. So then me and my friend Logan had to go confront him about it, and he exploded, had a mental breakdown.
I mean, I'll tell you guys right now, the LA scene or the influencer scene in general just seems to be an absolute nightmare.
Shout out to the Tan Superman for the clips in this video, but honestly, I couldn't agree with him more right there. Who in their right mind would ever want to be a part of this? You would catch my ass at Bohemian Grove before I ever stepped foot into an influencer house. So Jack is going on to label this employee as some sadistic creep that was holding McKinley hostage and that he was continuously groping her throughout the night, not leaving her alone. Where Jack thankfully saved her. Yeah, it really sounds like a story he would make up to paint himself as some white knight hero that will hold girls' hands while other guys kiss her.
We had to break down the door because she was screaming and crying in the room, and you wouldn't let her out of the fucking room because you're a sick.
So yeah, he's really trying to put this employee down once and for all, claiming to have all the evidence to prove the claims against him to be false. And that would lead to the employee himself creating his own response, saying the other girl Jack claims to be with all night was just some figment of his imagination. He just made it all up to not make himself look like a punching bag in this scenario. Then more importantly, responds to Jack saying he was being some sort of semen demon fondling every woman he came across, claiming Jack never held nothing but his own nutsack during their entire encounter together, not trying to stop Matt the employee and McKinley once.
The Uber, and that's where you see the video of me kissing McKinley. And Jack wasn't even with the girl that entire day. He didn't have another girl, so I don't know what he's talking about that he had another girl. He's capping about it entirely. And he wasn't holding her hand in the car at all because he was in the passenger seat.
So Jack made himself look like more of a beta for pretty much zero reason. Now don't cheer on this guy just yet, because he doesn't exactly make himself look any better, because he said something that I don't even think crackheads have ever muttered to each other. So I'll let that play out now.
When I was back in my room, I was asking McKinley, like, what's good with her? Like, do you want to get with Jack? Because if so, we share underwear, we can share girls.
What fuck's name?
It's time we start looking over our shoulders to check who's really our boys here. This whole time I've been doing it all wrong. This is what true brotherhood looks like. Cut from a different sack but share their sack in the same cloth. It doesn't come any closer than trading each other's sweaty ball hairs like they're Pokemon cards. What kind of business relationship did you share with your employer? I ain't never heard of no boss busting out the office and start throwing his stained drawers around to his employees like it's a bouquet toss at a fucking wedding. Also, the second half of that sentence really wasn't any better. We share underwear, we share girls. Yeah, it seems like you're going to be sharing a long list of STDs too.
So I kind of got the gist that she wanted to move on to Jack. So that's why I literally asked her, like, I can give you up to Jack if you really want that.
This is one of the rare occurrences where I wish this man would have just remained silent instead of start new drama, because it's like watching trash fight garbage. There's really no winners or sides to choose because they all lead to everyone being a terrible human being. Matt would come out with text messages between him and McKinley to show they had some sort of relationship, and to really flick the nipple off a cripple, I believe furries could flirt better than these two could, because reading these messages triggered my gag reflex multiple times, so fair warning, cringe will be shown. So how do I get you out of my head? I need to sleep. I don't want to leave your mind. I really have a hard time believing that you're struggling to get out of his head, because I can absolutely assure you no woman is going to be attracted to a grown-ass man posting content like this.
By replacing it with his favorite strawberry banana drink to see if he can tell the difference. So while I was waiting for my drink, I was literally hitting the gwitty. Then he
Life without parole. And make sure to throw away the key, because this man never deserves to see sunlight again. I'm all down for acting a fool once in a while, but that actually made me physically regurgitate. Hopefully I see you this weekend. Yes, I hope so too. Just gotta get my bread up. You can easily steal the bread with us, trust. Actually, you don't have an option. I might have to go over there and steal you. I gotta get a few things before I get there, but just for research purposes, what's your ring size? Like, you guys haven't even met in person yet, and you're already talking about getting happily wedded just to get her stolen by this dude that's built like a mailbox. This is like watching a car crash. It's just so awful, but I can't stop looking away from it. If you keep liking my stories, I might have to kiss you. I mean, what can you even say to that, really? The last next thing Matt would share is screenshots of texts between him and Jack speaking about McKinley before Jack even met her yet, discussing about paying her $3K and tricking her into signing a contract with him. I'm gonna make McKinley sign a waiver/NDA, but actually it's a contract, $3K and a t-shirt. Aw, how sweet. I mean, they're talking about her body like it's some sort of art auction, and for some unholy reason, this guy was delusional enough to show his own text messages that made himself look even worse than Jack, saying, haha, a word that rhymes with tape, and then trying to up the price on her because she's hot. It's like I'm in a 4chan comment section. Really don't know how admitting you're a predator towards women is supposed to do you any favors. So that's pretty much where this little saga ends. If those texts aren't altered or fake, then I feel like especially having McKinley unknowingly sign a contract, it would probably push some legal line for sure. Because obviously you can't just get someone to sign up to something if they are under the impression that it's something else. That slot is reserved for music labels. However, if you thought Jack would lower down with disrespecting other people, you would be sadly mistaken, because he would decide to shrink his balls and start even more brawls that he runs away from. But recently the day finally came where Jack would stand his ground and throw his first ever punch, except he horribly missed and ended up punching his own friend in the face. Some guy Jack was disrespecting decided to go press him in real life to solve the problem they had.
Let's go.
You're dumb as fuck.
What?
He's doing that for a clip.
Let's go. You had hella trash to talk on stream. Now let's go. You talk trash on the stream last night. Let's go.
I don't care.
And you think it's funny? You won't say it to my face, but you'll say it on the VOD, huh?
Because I don't want to give you a clip like you're trying to do right now.
What do you mean? Nah, if you're a man, stand on business.
You can start to see the plop of piss starting to form on the floor, which explains the crotch covering and the overly feminine leg stance. You can even see little razor bumps from Jack shaving them the night before. Looks pretty rough for him once he doesn't have any of his goons to back him up, and honestly this time I can't blame him. It doesn't necessarily look like a fair fight in the slightest.
Boxing gloves, let's go. You're talking trash, let's go. I literally will box you right now.
Ow, what the fuck?
Chill.
He even looks at the camera like it's a Looney Tunes moment, like when the coyote is about to fall off the cliff, knowing his dumbass just knocked his own teammate out. I mean, everybody in this video I showed has Wendy Freezer IQ levels, because throwing something where 50 women are standing is some dumbassery if I ever seen it. If this wasn't Jack, I would be pretty against somebody that's trying to fight half his size, but it is, so I really don't care. That's really all there is to talk about. I could show more skits he's done pretending to be poor and flying on commercial airlines, but let's be real, I want views, so I'm probably going to do a part 4 since you guys, along with the new viewers, seem to love it. That's going to be wrapping up everything there. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to slap a like before your dad slaps you. Subscribe if you hit my vibe, and as always, make sure to follow my socials, especially my Instagram, so you can see my majestic curls, really cute pics, look like a skinwalker, so make sure to go follow. This was a command. You have 10 seconds before the bomb explodes. If you guys enjoyed this video, I will see you all very soon. I'm gonna head out this bitch.